Alright, hello. We're going to be taking a look at the new EFC season for Urban Rivals today, going through a really quick deck build, and then doing at least placements for the new season in this video. If you want to skip straight to the gameplay, there will be a timestamp below. With the new season, they're doing cash prizes. They do point allocation per segment of the season, and then at the end they do payouts for the winners. It's really cool. There will be a link to this in the comments or description below as well. But to jump a little bit further, they have put out the new ban list. Not a terrible amount has changed for my plans with the new ban list, but it's always to keep up. It's always good to keep up and just get a sense of whether or not you want to switch around your deck. Also, semi-evos are usually some of the better cards aside from legendaries. Sadly, in this specific instance, it doesn't seem like I'm going to be using any, but they are quite good. That aside, semi-evos like the Geist bot and Nail in Vortex are really strong right now. I think I'm going to be going into Jungo. So I'm going to just look at best copy and start going through which cards I think would fit in this deck. Antoine is pretty easy just because it's a -4. Any support cards in a mono deck are usually pretty fantastic. Booma's really good, and I mean it is a 7 life cap, but 4 power even with the attack bonus is pretty rough. And there's a decent amount of Raptors I've seen this season. So we'll probably end up coming back to that. Benicio's a good option as well. Something to keep in mind. Bro's always a really good card. Booba's always a really good card. As far as anything additionally, Dianzi comes to mind. I'll probably throw in Excess just because 9 power is kind of a luxury in this format, as well as Cindy for this moment, and then we'll come back and see if we need to pull her later. Sadly, Foul's banned, but it's understandable. Card's ridiculous with a -1. Hopper's a consideration as well. James is a bonus. +2 bonus if you win with him in your hand, but I think I'll need at least the best cards I can get for placements, and then we'll probably come back later if we still want something like that. Neva's always a really great card. Peg's always fantastic as well, but sadly banned, understandably. Kreen's one of those unfortunate cards that kind of got power crept, where even if I knew for a fact I was playing against, like, Geist and Roots 60% of the time, I still don't know that I would run her, just because 7 power is more often than not a liability, I feel, without something to supplement it. Speaking of 7 power, Silo's SOA is really great, but we'll probably do is look at Regina, see if we can't pick up another copy of her. Yeah, probably throw Regina in the deck, but if we can get a lower power version, that would probably be even better. Skopika's, it's a 6 gap, and it's hard to damage reduce. Trash is a really fantastic card. Tariel's really great. Zip's arguably really fantastic as well. It is functionally an 8/6, and it competes with something like Rodzi, which is technically like an 8/5, but she doesn't have the downside. I mean, it's basically a side grade to Rodzi, but the distinction being that Rodzi costs almost 1 billion clints, little over, and Zip is roughly 5 mil right now. So, even cheaper. Yeah, a lot of times you really gotta ask yourself if it's even worth the investment. especially because cards like Rodzi will inevitably just drop in price anyways. I think for right now we'll throw in Zip, and then take a look at what we have so far. Pull out the cards we had for a Survivor deck in here. Looks like we're at 26. So what are we pulling down? My gut says either Excess or Scopica gets pulled down to make way for Regina. Yeah, sadly if Scythe wasn't banned, that would be another consideration. Just because the min one on the poison is so good. Um, yeah, we'll probably 8-1 SOA. Hmm. I think we go excess over Scopica because he does have the +1 power, and I do think that 9 isn't that much better than 8. But he does also have one more damage, so it's only a missing gap of 1, and then provided SOA is in play, you can either force out the SOA really early, or you get what is functionally 4 extra damage on top of that. So we'll probably, yeah, we'll probably pull Scopica and then throw in a 2-star Regina. A little more SOA in this deck never hurts. That's looking pretty good so far. And just to double check, Jean is still banned as well, correct? Best copy only. And it looks like, yeah, he's still banned. Were he not, this is another consideration for just a great SOA. Under normal circumstances, I would probably be looking at Hmm. Yeah, it's very up in the air, I feel. Because we could fit Regina into the 3-star slot, where Cindy is. Hmm. I mean, this is functionally a 10-5 with -2 damage min 6. This is an 8-3 with SOA. If we went up to, yeah, -2 min 6 on the damage is functionally useless. So I suppose the question then is, Is conditional SOA worth the 2 power? And the answer is probably, yeah. That looks pretty good. I think even though Regina's better than Cindy, both have room in this deck. Yeah, this looks pretty good. I'm not super comfortable with Zip, but it is functionally an 8/6 for 2, so we'll call that finished. Then go and jump into play. Turn this down just a little bit. Alright, let's go hop into EFC. Looks like we don't have the deck available. And I wonder if there's something preventing that. Let's take a quick look. Ah, yes, okay. Because it didn't update 25 stars. Yes, well... Let's go ahead and... take a look at 2-star options, presumably to replace Cindy? That's very odd. I mean, what we could naturally do is just call Regina a worse Sean and make her a 2-star again. Yeah, that sounds correct. I'll grab one more Regina. Yeah, some weird things with the collection screen. Collection Pro is probably a little less finicky, but the visual aid of seeing the character cards is helpful sometimes, I feel, despite the bugs. Yeah, so we'll just throw Regina in here. Pull old Regina out. Jump back over to best copy available. Yeah, Quad G is also a really great option, I feel. but not if you're losing. Or rather, not if you're winning. You need to be pretty low to make really, really great use of that. Alright, we'll call this done. Despite the visual bug, I think the deck is correct here. Just to double check. Yeah, this is correct. So we'll save that. Jump back in, and we're ready again. Alright, we certainly have some other options like Sakram or Skeels. I think Jungo's our best bet right now though, so we'll hop in the first game. Alright. Interesting, you don't see Memento very often. I do really like this deck. Maybe 2-pill Antoine here. 3 pills calls out the 2. Oh, and we get a legendary. Let's see what we pull. Oh, nice. We can maybe look at a root stack later as well. We didn't lose that, so he's not looking at a heal because that's not how Memento works. Should play Jazel here, but I'm fine to eat a pill or 2 for 4 more damage. Looks like they're going to make us guess the 50-50 this round, but we'll see. Oh no, he jumps straight in with a host of Memento. I suppose we're still guessing the 50-50, but... I would assume that they would pill out here. So I'm just going to throw 7 at the wall and see if this sticks. Oof, unfortunately does not look like they pilled. And I think we lose 10 to 10. Yeah, that is truly unfortunate. Was looking at a draw otherwise. Alright. Probably worth considering that a Pussycats player is just going to be dead pilling in instances like that. Go down to 1, and that's 0-1 for the first placements. Not a terrible number of adjustments to make there, other than just being more cognizant of what the other player's game plan is. Speaking of an interesting game plan, I do really like their team. I don't really want to pill into Exodus. Yeah, he can unfortunately put me in a kind of losing scenario here, so I guess we'll go 6 on Zip. He should pill 6. Oh, pilled 4. That's fine. Sitting pretty high up here. And they do have to play 3rd. So what we can probably do is look for something super cute here, and then just call it a win. Because if they don't call out Booba here, I think we just gap. Functionally up to 25. Then they just can't really catch up after that, I assume. Oh, especially not if they use Dwella. Yeah, this is 1-1 looks like. We got another legendary. Let's see what we pull. Ah, we got wrecked. Very nice. Well, I mean, they got wrecked. We got the card, but... Paradox on this one. We have to play first. D'Agostini doesn't really seem like a card I have to respect as far as throwing away my symmetry card. So I'll probably run through Bros first here. Then just see if he pills in response. Oh, nice. Very nice. I probably think I should pill out here. Paradox does like looking for KOs. So if I put them down to 6, highest they can put up is 48. It's 4-star to my 3. So I just throw 48 at the wall. Fairly close so far. I think if I throw Antoine at this, Dead Pills Emporio, and he looks for D'Agostini, and I think we still win. Should that be the case? Yep. It's -9. Alright. Very, very nice. That puts him well above, yeah. Very, very nice. One to 2. puts them up to 10, and this would bring it back down to 7. This would also make it 8 to 8. I think we get a little bit more mileage out of trash and iron jaw. So let's throw Cindy at this. Very nice. If they feud with iron, they could find a win here. Yeah, 8 points brings them down to 6. Looks like this one's a loss as well. Racking my brain for anything otherwise, and I don't think there is an out there. Yeah. Very unfortunate. They do have lower than average damage. Trash matches really well up into Harrier, because even if we lose, which we didn't, would not have been too bad. Teriel's good here to force out a couple more pills. No issue here. And that should be an easy one. Alright. Found one eventually. So I think we're finishing this 2-3. It's probably going to be fairly low in dark corners or something or other. Just thinking about it ahead of time, what adjustments would we make? I think I would skew a little bit more power into this deck. Or perhaps a little bit more damage. Looking at it more. You could probably get away with pulling a card like Excess out, because we haven't seen much SOA in the meta. And then looking for a card like DNZ, perhaps? And then replacing Cindy with a very good 2-star. An option as well, perhaps, is looking at pulling out something like Regina, because even a great card at 1 just can't make up for those gaps, even with SOA in tow. Certainly stuff to keep in mind. As far as placement, yeah. 866 is, or 886 rather, is currently topping, so it would be quite a ways to go, but that's only functionally like 40 odd games. If you just make the right adjustments, it's not too hard to find. Just to give a quick example, you probably pull this and this out. Oh. Oh, I have 9 cards in this deck. That is incredibly silly. Well, yes, that is incredibly silly, and I apparently don't know how to count. Well, in that case, what adjustments would I make with that in mind? You could probably just pill up Regina, or level up Regina here. I think I would put her at 4, because you get your level's worth every time. And then perhaps pulling out Zip here. Looks good. I think that does look pretty good. An alternate idea here would be putting her back down to something like 2, and then throwing DNZ in one of these slots. And then replacing one of these with a 2. That would work as well. Hmm. That was incredibly silly. But sometimes you have to do really silly things to learn. Looking at bros here. That's 5 gap right there. You've got minus 16. Oh, well, that was easy. So functionally, we're 3 and 3 so far. Still no SOA spotted. Excess is looking a little worse and worse every time. Have a pretty good draw here. And he should pill out with Mary. Do I care about them doing that? I suppose an issue here is that I don't know if I do. Representing a lot of damage with this draw, so maybe I'll just throw Booba at the wall. See if something sticks. Killed exactly where I thought they would. If they didn't have Valentina here and had a conventional 8-4 for 8-3, we could look at furying Regina and trying to choose a win off. But mm, 6, 6, 12, 13. Yeah. There's a possibility that they just use Valentina here anyways. So it's probably worth looking at. Can they put 16 up on the board in short order? It's distinctly possible. They do have enough here to tie, but not win. So I suppose we're at 3, 3, and 1. Excuse me? Okay, well, if they screw up maths, I suppose we're at 4 and 3 right now. That was a really, really interesting lack of fury there. Perhaps we'll chalk it up to a misclick. Doc Ollie, still unbanned. Great, great, great card. And unfortunately, we didn't find Regina this round. So, between Digging Bill and Doc Ollie, we do have quite a bit to respect in terms of abilities. To start out, suppose we can just throw excess on dead pill. Yeah. Probably looking at Cindy here next. They should use Gus, but goodness knows they usually don't want to pill off of Gus, despite him being a 7/5. Yep. And then whomever they throw at us next, we presumably can pill out with trash and then find a win. This one wasn't too hard. They're representing down to 5, 6. $65 total. Yep. Looks like we got a pretty clean sweep on this one. Doc Ollie can't make the gap. Alright, 5 and 3 so far. We've got quite a bit going on. They showed they were looking at Alucard to start. Honestly, we can probably look at just low-pilling Regina here. Possibility certainly exists that they throw Cubic with some pills, or D'Agostini, and ignore his ability. But I think Alucard is also pretty likely here. I don't have much for Mr. Nitro here to reduce, so they might just dead pill Alucard. Yeah, full screen seems a better bet typically, but it just gets so choppy, my goodness. Yeah, not much you can really do about that, unfortunately. Yep, so they do throw D'Agostini at it. Bunch of pills in exchange for 7. Is a really careless way to lose Regina there, but we still have 7 on the minus. So we probably look at something like Tariel if they're dead pilling here to fake. Interesting. I suppose we're just tying here. It was truly unfortunate. So we're currently 5 and 4, if memory serves. I think that one really just came down to throwing Regina way too early. And they know we're looking for bros at 1, so they'll probably pill a little bit more here. Oh, very nice. Not enough to get kill shots, so we're probably fine on that front. Alright, well. I suppose it's pretty likely that they try and handshake the trade here. This will probably be our last game, so the decision is whether we want to try and be a little cute. The answer is probably yes. They're going to have 30 plus 12, so we'll just go up to 42 here. And then if they try and Fury with Buckler, we can find a pretty cute win. Yeah, that wasn't too hard. Tanner's a really interesting choice for this deck. I don't know that I necessarily agree with it. We finished 6 and 4. Have a daily box to open. Don't hate the cryptos. Squishy's a little weak, but it certainly fills a role in the clan. What are the takeaways? Well, for one, naturally, I think it goes without saying that having 9 cards in your deck is distinctly worse than having 8. Is there anything else? I think having a little bit more damage in this clan surprisingly yielded better results. Even with Jungo being functionally a damage clan, similar to La Junta, getting life gapped was still a really big issue when we had a bunch of low damage cards. And having a potential draw of, 10 damage max was kind of an issue before. I think I'm happy with this on the whole, looking back at it. I might replace XS again if we truly didn't anticipate any SOA in the meta. But 9 power is a bit of a premium, considering the way EFC bans have been going. All in all, we did go positive, and obviously, on a long enough timeline, you only need a 51% win rate to technically gain ELO. So, I think I would call this deck a success on the whole, and probably come back to it. If you guys like this, let me know. If there's any other clans worth looking at, feel free to suggest some down below. And I'll probably take a look at it in the near future. Once again, the EFC season for that cash prize is going to be running for some time. Feel free to check out that link below to grab some details. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.